Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. This new Inquisitor design sucks. Usually I try to stay pretty positive about art, but this looks like a Halloween costume, come on. And this is Disney we're talking about. They could probably throw a fat billion at this character and not even break a sweat. What am I talking about? That's a good question. For those of you who aren't in the know, which is probably no one, Disney finally announced their Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's coming out next month, and there's some hot debate on whether or not this character, named the Inquisitor, which is a live-action counterpart of a character from a spin-off cartoon, is well designed or not. I fall in the later category, but to be quite honest, it's kind of close for me. Now, the casting choice is honestly not the problem at all. Even though they definitely should have just gone with Jason Isaacs, the original voice of the character, who said he would have loved to do it and looks the part, their pick of Rupert Friend on second glance is actually not a bad choice at all. In fact, his performances in the past look quite promising for this type of role. Quite honestly, a strong performance from this character could easily win me over. The whole reason I believe why most probably take issue with this depiction of the character is not actually because he looks drastically different, but really because he doesn't, in a way. But the subtleties of the original version don't really exist in this one. Now, yes, there is the main argument of the fact that cartoons purposefully exaggerate most features of the face, and yeah, that's true, that's the whole point of the art style, but there's one point that these people seem to kind of leave out. And it's not that the live-action Inquisitor looks too different from the cartoon version, but actually that he looks so different from the live-action species that we've already seen depicted in the series. The Inquisitor is a Pau'an. We've seen these before. The representative that Obi-Wan meets with on Utapau in Revenge of the Sith looks like this. And when your squeaky clean politician looks like that, it's not hard to see why people are upset that their cold-blooded Jedi killer looks like a guy badly cosplaying as one. So I, a guy with no credentials and a tiny YouTube channel, think that it's a great idea to redesign a character that probably went through tens, if not hundreds of talented professional artists. So let's redesign this guy. I did two pieces, a full body shot and a facial bust sketch. I'm gonna start with the full body shot for no other reason than I did it first. So there's a few main issues that I try to fix with this piece alone. The first of two big points is the suit. Funnily enough, I think that the issue in the live action version is that they actually tried to stay too loyal to the cartoon. And sometimes parts of the suit kind of look like they're painted cardboard. In the places where it made sense, I tried to stay as accurate as possible to the original, but in the places where Disney's version just looked too chintzy, I redesigned these with visual aid from both Darth Vader's suit and the Grand Moff uniforms from the original trilogy. This both fixes the issue of it looking bad, and also kind of cleverly ties it into the other live-action things that already exist. The other issue that I addressed is, of course, the head shape. This is a kind of layered issue, but yeah, Rupert Friend does have a very, round head. He looks, well, too human, because, he is one. I mean, look at the behind the scenes of the original Pau'an. That must have taken hours to get into makeup for. This just kind of looks like they painted the poor guy's face and called it a day. Although they should, of course, use some structure to actually lengthen his head, that's not the only thing contributing to this issue. The Inquisitor's facial tattoos are put right in the middle of the forehead in this tiny little pattern, so even if the face was elongated, that visual is crushed by the markings being placed there. They make the head look rounder even if it isn't with their size and placement. So even though in my version they're bigger than what they were in the show, I elongated them to run more with the shape of the head, rather than having them just kind of painted on. This, I believe, makes a huge difference in how the head is perceived, if only subconsciously. Now, the second art piece I did was a facial bust. This was more of a hypothetical kind of sketchy thing. In my original piece, I just assumed that they would use the same actor that they chose, but in this little sketch that I did last minute, it was sort of a speculation piece on what if they went with Jason Isaacs, what his character and prosthetics might make him look like. And I mean, the guy played Lucius Malfoy. Oh, he would have been so good for this role. I don't mean to complain, but oh, I really wish that could have happened. Anyways, I used the reference of the cartoon, the original live-action depiction of the species, and Jason Isaacs for both visual form and color reference. I believe with a few minor tweaks of judgment, I came up with a pretty good design for what the face should look like. Well, these are my concept pieces. I guess what I would have done with the character if I was tasked with creating it for live action. Do you like my version better? Was Disney's depiction fine in the first place? Do they both suck? Probably. Just let me know in the comments below. Either way, I'm super excited for the show, and honestly, even though I don't really enjoy their Inquisitor design, there's so many other things to gush over excitement about. I mean, we're over a month away. We're probably going to get more trailers at some point. He might even not look that bad. It might just be the 2 shots that they used of him. I mean, look at what they did with Vader in the original trailer for Revenge of the Sith. In this version of the surgery scene, his hands were placed up by his head, and people thought that looked goofy, so they changed it. And yeah, that was George Lucas, and I think he has a little more integrity than Disney does. But also Disney likes money, so I wouldn't put it past them. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it wasn't too complainy. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, then subscribe. And turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next.